What's going on, guys? Today we're going to look at an independent, I don't know if we can call this house niche. I guess on paper they would be niche. So for lack of better definition, just because I'm not quite sure how this gets new, how you separate a very high experience, reputable independent niche house versus like a singular person that makes independent fragrances. I think that's still technically niche, but I don't view them the same way. But I was recommended this house by a friend of mine from the channel. And so we're going to evaluate today in a hot take format, 5 fragrances from the house. And we're going to see if it's fire, see if it's something you should put your nose onto, because if they are good, they have an insane amount of options, like probably as many options as Alexandria and Dua. So strap up, get your beverage. Let's go for that ride.
Okay, doing it for two. I watch that head move side to side as I let this in into the room. You are on top, let's connect minds. Trying to get into a mood. We gon' be fine. Close up the blinds, no rush. Finish the food.
All right. Welcome to the Scent Bubble. I am your host for the evening. Okay. So the house is Essential Harmony. The E on Essential is the number 3. Essential Harmony. This is a house that I believe it's one perfumer who really emphasizes, quality ingredients, stuff that is mindful of skincare. So stuff that is going to be protective on, that your skin is still protected. It's not as little harmful chemicals and synthetics as humanly possible. Giving you a lot of versatility with different scent profiles. Like I said, I think I saw like over 30 to 50 fragrances. Their art aesthetic is awesome, which I'll show you guys in a little bit. And we're just going to kind of hot takes evaluate these. I have worn all of these fragrances at least 1 or 2 days, but that was about 2 months ago. So I wanted to get a fresh new take on these. We're just going to fly through 5 that captivated me. So the first fragrance here, and we're going to change windows briefly, is a fragrance called Deep Waters. This says, the initial burst of refreshing bergamot and grapefruit creates an invigorating splash that draws you in. This leads to an alluring heart with a distinctive marine accord with aromatic lavender and vetiver. The dry down is a fusion of amber, cedar, oak moss, musk, and tonka. So Deep Waters, it looks like an oceanic marine grapefruit style, and we're going to load up the test strip. So let's fly out real quick. And let's load up the test strip. I'm going to, these fragrances, I think for a 50 ml, it only costs like $30 or something like that. So getting 5 mls of all these was really simple. I think 25, $30 gave me 5 mls, which is like an amazing price point. And then considering if you like one, you get a 50 ml for $30. That's insane. So, hopefully these are good. The opening is really beautiful. I get grapefruit, lavender, like this very Arctic blast of like slightly sweet ocean water. It's not a salt water type of accord. It's very grapefruitish and Arctic blast with soft lavender. This is a really good scent. My only gripe with it is as good as it smells. It's a fleeting experience. Like I'm noticing it transition not into a new profile, but just becoming less and less of a weighty fragrance that feels like it could have some good carry. If I remember correctly, I feel like these fragrances gave me like a good 3 hours of performance, and then they were kind of a fleeting experience. There might have been 1 or 2 that took me to about 4 or 5 hours. But again, I was overspraying once I was feeling a lack of performance. Like I was loading up like 10, 15 sprays, which for how affordable this is, go for it. These are really easy, like grab and goes. I feel like it does smell quality though. The opening is insanely beautiful. It's accurate to the artwork and the description. It does feel like the best Deep Waters you could ever smell. There's a weight to this that feels very light. Like it almost feels like water-based or something like that, where it just doesn't have like the weight of a cologne. You know what I'm saying? It almost borderlines either body spray or a body spray kind of weight, or what is it? Like the room sprays, like aerosol, not Lysol, but like a Febreze sprayer, type of thing, So there's a like kind of a very lightweightness to these that kind of I think is what's affecting performance. They don't, like I said, they don't have a heavy cologne smell, but as far as the profile, this is really stunning. It's beautifully balanced and it's very well done. But yeah, it does borderline, like I feel like I could take this particular fragrance and just spray it around in my room and you would think, you know, I sprayed some aerosol or something around to try and kind of freshen it up a bit. The kind of cologne feel isn't quite there, but maybe this is just with this scent profile. But as far as like profile, I give it like a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10 just in terms of balance and smell. It just really smells delightful. There's not a lot of weight there. I imagine this is like a very fleeting kind of projection. It doesn't transition into something else, but it just feels like a shadow of itself every minute or two. But great scent. You should definitely get your nose on it if you're interested in the house. Okay, we're going to speed it up a little bit now. Now we're going to move to, this is called Invincible. Let's switch screens here. Invincible. Okay. And I love the art aesthetic of these. The artwork on this website is stunning. Each fragrance gets its own art vibe. So here at its core, aromatic, opens up with vibrant burst of bright bergamot, grapefruit, another bergamot grapefruit, okay. Core of lavender and coffee, so the heart and base is where it deviates. Coffee, refreshing marine accords, again. Sophisticated geranium, the foundation reveals vetiver, warm sandalwood and cedar, rich mahogany, musk. So it's very close to deep waters. It just feels like it might be a little more warmed up instead of like a watery feel. Let's give this a shot here. Go back to main. Yeah, so okay, so it smells very close to deep waters in terms of the weight of the fragrance and kind of this real airy sea breeze kind of feel. But then the orange really comes through. The grapefruit is a lot more holiday spiced. I don't get a ton of coffee, but I think the coffee is just helping set the tone of kind of this browned grapefruit kind of feel, this ambered grapefruit. The mahogany is kind of on the outskirts, gluing the fragrance together, this kind of woody sweet vibe. Cool little variation to something like Deep Waters. It's definitely a great smell. As a smell, I give it like an 8 or 9 out of 10. Well blended. Again, this one doesn't feel... This one, similarly to Deep Waters, feels like a room spray or a candle scent or a body spray, Bath and Body Works type of feel. But it's very fresh. It's a great scent profile. And you would enjoy rocking this as just like blind grab, everyday wear, seasonless, any age. Very nice. It's a very good scent profile. Again, my main concern is the body and weight of the fragrance just doesn't perform and push on my skin very crazy. It feels water-based. I think I said that before, which sucks because if these fragrances like had some serious carry on them, this would be awesome, you know, because their descriptions are they're not just their note descriptions, but their aesthetic of artwork and vibe fit the fragrance. So far, they're 2 of 2 in that regard. So really the only thing I can complain about at this point is the weight of the fragrance doesn't feel as much cologne-y. It feels more kind of in the realm of essential oils and stuff like that, which is in the vein of what they're going for. Like if you saw these fragrances in like a massage parlor and you like got one of them in a gift bag as you left, like you would spritz up and just feel like at peace, invigorated, like you're just using natural chemicals and things like that. Okay, let's move on to the next fragrance, which is Suit and Tie. So let's switch over here. I think I went over the prices already, but my 5 mLs were like dirt cheap. I think I got 5 mLs for like $25 and their 50 mLs go for $30, which is just insane. So maybe these just function as some like glorified body mists that you use where, you know, in the realm of like Aqua di Gio Profondo and stuff like that, if you just want like something fresh, you might have to reapply it a time or two throughout the day, but you can heavy spray it and know that you'll be light, airy, and fresh. Okay, so the aesthetic with this one is timeless blend of bright citrus. I'm not going to read all the poetry here. Lavender, cardamom, at the core, vanilla, creamy tonka, smoky depth of premium woods, rich amber, sensual musk, undertones of cedar, mahogany, oak, moss. There's a lot of like kind of unifying notes. Now they have, you know, like I saw like 50 different options for fragrances. So I don't want to act like they all have the same stuff in it. But so far, the last 3 fragrances have all had, you know, amber, oak moss, vetiver. You know what I'm saying? Lavender. This smells really good. This smells really, 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 really good. I get this mahogany. I get this kind of slightly sweet, like Thanksgiving-ish dark liquor, but very like sweet and mainstream kind of dark liquor, sweet. Even the lavender touch, like it almost feels a bit La Mala Elixir-esque. Body is still an issue with this. Like it feels like a water-based creation that's quite light on the nose, but pungent, beautiful, rich opening, good smell. I give it like a 9 even, maybe even a 10 out of 10. In terms of scent profile, again, it just feels like a body spray or aerosol, air freshener. That's what I've been meaning to say this whole time. Great smell. As far as the suit and tie vibe, this just feels like an elegant guy, you know, maybe with a cigar and a suit and some cognac or something, but in the most light, airy, fresh, cold night sky type of weight to it. Really good scent. I can't complain. I can see how they make essential oils and other variations of the fragrance because it feels like that. I think so far my main criticism with this house is just that it seems like the way I'm smelling the body of these fragrances feels like this is what the room spray or the candle or the oils should smell like, but that the fragrance should be richer and have more dimension and feel more cologne-ish. I haven't tried the creams or the oils or the other products that they sell, but if you put a blindfold on me, I would say like, oh, this is the oil or this is the body mist, you know? And so I think if you're going to make different variations of the product, they should have different weights and densities to match the appropriateness for the occasion, which, you know, I imagine people would want to wear these and not just spray them in a room. So I don't know if it's water-based and that's why, or it's a lack of certain things because you're going so natural. But again, I can't fault the smells. It smells phenomenal. Okay, we'll move on. I give that one like a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed that. Next up, we have Lake Effect. So let's switch over. Lake Effect. This says sophisticated blend opens up with bergamot. There you go again. C notes. There we go again. Cool mist of pristine waters. At the heart, we have lavender again. Ozonic accords. Distinctive incense elements. Notes of amber, sandalwood, musk, driftwood. Okay, petitgrain, oak moss. This looks like a green lavender blast. So let's see. We're 4 fragrances in. And I'm really enjoying the scent profile. I got to give it to the house. The blends are beautiful. Again, I don't know what is making these feel so air freshenery and body misty, but they are great scents. If these were in air fresheners, I would buy all of them. This is nice. This is nice. It's kind of got an Eau Sauvage green blast, but again, as I'm describing these, remember that they're super airy and like body mist, air freshener-esque. They just don't have a lot of cologne body to them. But as far as, again, it might be a concentration issue. I'm not sure. I'm going to write some feedback for this house. Hopefully they see this review because I want to see a house like this succeed. They're masterful blends. but there is a weight issue that I think is a problem, both from a longevity standpoint, and I feel like in perfumery, different tones and vibes should have weight. Like there's a time and place for airy and lightness. There's a time and place for some body and some depth. I feel like these fragrances also don't really transition much. It's kind of like what you get in the top is what you get throughout the fragrance. In a way that makes it feel not super complex, but these, again, they are great scents. Like this is just this very green, beautiful green forest. I catch some hints of lavender, but it's mostly a green, airy, oak mossy, woody green experience. This is similar to like a Lin Sumi, but I'm not going to disrespect Lin Sumi by saying this is on par with it, but certainly in the family of, again, beautiful, fresh, airy, kind of body mist, air freshener type of scent. But it is really good. Man, I give that like a 9 or a 10 out of 10. Good profile. Okay, and let's finish on the last one here. We're approaching almost 20 minutes, which is pretty good for a 5 fragrance review, I'd say. Next fragrance is going to be Mystique. Do we have Quantum? Oh man, I don't know why I don't have Quantum. I'm going to look for that after we do this, but this one's called Mystique. I forgot I had Quantum. Okay, so Mystique is here we go. Consolidated. Saffron, jasmine, sandalwood, agarwood, amber, vanilla, praline, cedar, brandy, and bergamot. Again, just beautiful, stunning artwork. I really got to give props to the house for the artwork. It is awesome. The shipping was really nice. You know, it was on time. These seem like glass decants, I'm pretty sure, you know. Cool little vibrant artwork. I'm going to let this one dry down because it has a bit of a funk. I'm going to see if I can get Quantum real quick for you guys. 1 second. Huh. I might not have Quantum, guys. Okay. Interesting. I guess, I don't know what I did with Quantum. It's got to be hiding somewhere amongst the 600 scents I own. But anyways, this smells, come on, chair, stop squeaking. This smells good. It's kind of like a very invigorating, refreshing, slightly ambered orange blast. Not quite creamsicle, but like oranges and florals, just like the picture suggests. It does have a little bit of an off-putting funk to it. Maybe that's the agarwood. But it still maintains a kind of freshness. I think the brandy and agarwood is what's kind of giving this a twang to it. It's not really funky. It's just kind of interrupting the orange in a slightly unpleasant way. Smells just like the picture. Beautiful scent. Again, it has that body mist air freshener weight to it. I hate to keep repeating it, but I'm repeating it because I'm hoping as the fragrances progress that I'll run across a fragrance that has a different body to it where I can say, oh, this was just because these fragrances were fresh, but everything's fresh, everything's light, airy, and that's that. Okay, let's consolidate some things for you guys. So, very good scents. I give that last scent about an 8 out of 10. Everything got an 8 or higher, several 9s, couple 10s. These smell great. From a blend standpoint and a note profile standpoint, the perfumer knows what he or she is doing. So props to that. The aesthetic of the artwork and the options and the desire to be ethical and be mindful of skincare and giving versatility to the products, you know, oils, body mists, you know, different skin. I think there's some other variations to it as well. Yeah, so it's dry oil, fragrance mist, travel spray, gold bottle, silver bottle. I don't know if there's any difference between the gold and silver bottle. Are they the same price? Yeah, they're both $35. So some of the fragrances are like $30 for 50 ml. Some are 35. Probably depends on how recent the release is. Packaging is cool. You know, they put a lot of love and care into the packaging. And the price point, absolutely phenomenal. You could get into this house very affordably, and you could try the house very affordably. So shouts out to them for that. I'll put all of their information in the description below. Everything was fresh and felt year-round, despite the profile. And everything felt ageless as well. And again, I don't know if that's a compliment or not, because on one hand, it's like, yeah, anyone can wear it, any age group, male or female. But on the other hand, I'm wondering if the reason they felt that way is because they don't really feel like colognes. They do feel like I got the fragrance mist version, you know, which is essentially looks like the room spray, the air freshener version of all of these, and not necessarily like an eau de cologne, eau de toilette, eau de parfum. They all say eau de parfum on them, so I know I didn't order the wrong thing, but I think they should all feel different a little bit in body between the different variations of the presentation. So that's really my only feedback is I fear that people will look at this house and say, you know what, I really love this scent, I'll just get the candle. Or, you know, I would get a room mist, but who buys a 50 ml room fragrance mist? You know what I'm saying? Like, they would just go buy an aerosol, even though the aerosol can is, or the air freshener, even though the air freshener might smell a little bit cheaper than these, you get way more juice and spray, and it's just more practical. I don't know here on the website if their fragrance mist is a body fragrance mist, like if it's meant to be, or if the fragrance mist is just stuff you put in the air, but that's how all of these feel, which is unfortunate, I think. So up the concentration, or if it's water-based, I don't know what the solution is because I don't know how they're made. So that's my feedback there. Definitely try the house if you're interested in more of a lighter, fresh, ageless feel with really good, just kind of like easy to wear, grab and go scents. I definitely think these compete with like anything from Bath and Body Works for sure. They smell of high quality. They just lack weight, and they lack longevity in my experience. The only other fragrance I tried, which was actually the first fragrance I tried, was called Quantum, and it was a fragrance that was cannabis infused, and it really rivaled, at least at a scent profile level, fragrances like Born to Stand Out Mary Jane, which is like one of my favorite cannabis-based fragrances. It smelled almost in some ways better than that, which is crazy, but then it was lifeless. You know, the fragrance, I think that fragrance lasted the most out of all of these, and it took me to about 4 hours, and then I just had to keep reapplying because it was a fleeting experience. So man, if they could really dial in the longevity, and maybe feeling a little more cologne-ish, you know, they would really have something substantial on their hands here. So I wish nothing but great things for Essential Harmony. And again, we just reviewed 5 with a bonus with Quantum. If you're interested in a cannabis-based fragrance, check out Quantum. I think that's the best out of all 6, well, 5 that I reviewed, but Quantum would be 6 included. But they're all high caliber scent profiles with pristine balance. So check them out when you get a chance. I'll put the information in the description below. Again, this was an evaluation of fragrances from Essential Harmony, which I believe is what we need to consider a niche house. And if you have any questions about them, use the information below or ask me, because I know people that know the makers of these fragrances. So with that being said, hope you guys have a blessed week. Take care.